Hi there. In this video, we are going to look at the Fintech and payment trio, XRP, XLM, and XCN. If you're new to my sessions, I'll cover the Wyckoff stage, potential price trend change, as well as key price levels. These are educational content only, not financial advice. The QR code on the top right hand is the new Substack I've set up, so go check it out. I'll cover a little bit more near the end of the video. So let's dive into the XRP weekly chart. Here, last week we talked about that XRP has potentially entered the early stage of accumulation. While we are seeing a bit of price surge or rebound, however you call it, this white candle over here, it's about almost 6% rise with 6 hours left for this week's candle. The volume, however, isn't a very big commitment. Let's put it this way, okay? It may be close to the panic over stage. Okay, there's a possibility is already there, but it's not a must. Why I'm saying this? Okay, take a moment just to memorize this single candle over here with this long wave at the bottom, okay? We go to the 2002 accumulation cycle, the one that lasted for 2 full years. Some altcoins lasted even longer. Remember this candle, right? Look very similar. Big candle, big red candle with long wick from the bottom. That's when it eventually gets to the panic over stage. I'm trying to pull up the word. It doesn't happen exactly the same in terms of the candlestick pattern, like how many red candles after this large candle with the long wick from the bottom. Sometimes it can go a little bit more shallow, sometimes it can go deeper. The key is, after that, there should be a period of low volume, and the price just doesn't go any further down. When that happens, that's the panic over stage, and what to expect next in terms of Wyckoff method. There's something we call an automatic rally, a stage where the players set a trading range top for the accumulation cycle. So subsequently, when the further test comes in, going down and up, they'll retest this trading range top until the point there's sufficient volume, bringing the price to re-challenge or even go above that particular trading range top. That's when the stage set for the next distribution cycle, okay? So here, after that, let's say hallmark candle, okay? Look at this over here. It doesn't always go immediately to the automatic rally. So remember this. Now we go back to where we are. Okay, the hallmark candle has shown up, and then it's going through this similar stage, okay? A little bit of up and down, a little bit of up and down. Sometimes the automatic rally can happen very soon, but depending on the environment and liquidity, sometimes it just dragged on for a little while before it shows up. If you have been following my other sessions, you probably remember in some cases that dragged on for months. In some scenario that drags on for months before the automatic rally appears. So to make it short, we are around this period. Just that, any price surge, don't expect it immediately goes back to the distribution unless some crazily good news happen and all the worries around the market, like the war in the Middle East, the private credit crisis, all that's happening, are all clear. If any of those are still around and gold and silver prices are shooting over the roof and oil prices as well, that's not the environment that will, give a chance to crypto to shoot to the next distribution. That's the big picture. Daily chart. This is helping us to track whether XRP is heading out of this downward channel that started last year. So people have been arguing, when did the bull market start? It actually, to me, when we track this, it actually started, for some cases, July last year. There are a couple of occasions, a couple of altcoins that started even like 2 months earlier in May. But anyway, the range is somewhere between May to September if you look across the charts. Here, what we are seeing for XRP for the very first instance since it dropped to the weaker side of the channel near the end of January, it started to climb back to the stronger half of the channel. That's a slightly positive sign, even though the volume isn't very encouraging. So we need to see higher than average volume to come in for the bulls in order to go challenge this 1.54 key level and eventually go outside of this downward channel, okay? Challenge the ceiling as well and break outside of it. Sometimes it can happen very quickly if the whales decide to just do a move and let that happen with some good news to support. But remember what I said, about the big picture, right? If there is such a rally, be prepared that it may come back down for more tests, okay? Don't get too hot-headed and think leaving your position open without a stop loss protecting yourself. Assuming this continues to be range bound like it has been doing since the beginning of February. That means after it challenged the 1.54, it may come back down to re-challenge the yellow key level of 1.35. That's just assuming it repeats what it has been doing for the past 1.5 months. If there's sufficient silver bullets or rocket fuel, the bulls may be able to come up to above the green key level and challenge this date of 21st of April. So the best case scenario now lies within March, okay? 30th of March was where the this purple line support, okay? When we look at the dip over there, that's a very stretched target, okay? Still within reach. There's still 2 weeks for the bulls to do their magic. This one, March 16, in just a day time, unless something really crazy happen, otherwise that's like a miracle case. The 30th of March is like a very positive scenario, but stretched. April 21st, slightly positive, more reasonable, where May 16th is the base case. So, of course, a lot of people want to see Ripple to go up sooner, but looking at the downtrend, in order to confirm this is the case that Ripple has finally declared that it's exiting the trend, these are the more realistic dates, okay? Remember when we look at this, right? It looks like it is trading sideways, but it's setting lower highs, right? And then all of a sudden, it dropped and continued with the downtrend. So that's for Ripple. Now, let's get to Stellar. And near the end of the video, I'll talk about the Substack dashboard, what you'll get from it. So quickly with Stellar. Here, again, similar case, but the hallmark candle has shown up a little bit earlier, and it has gone through a stage where it's getting into a sideways zone that the panic over stage may have arrived. So very similar to Ripple. So I'm not going to repeat. Automatic rally is the next thing that we are expecting in terms of Wyckoff method. This is actually a very good example here when I described about this earlier. So from the hallmark candle, okay, long wick, and then a little bit of sideways to the point with lower volume, the panic over period. Look at how long it takes for the automatic rally to appear. Okay, sometimes people would think, okay, they may declare this as the automatic rally. That's not wrong when the chart is still developing, okay? When the price retreat and then goes up to another level. That's fine if you declare it that way. Just that if you declare that as an automatic rally, the subsequent challenges, you can say they are all sign of strength. That's not going to affect your study of the chart that much, because anyhow you would expect the price to retreat after those tests, okay, until the point a platform is set for the next distribution to come. The difference is that if you declare it early, that becomes a sign of strength, and if you have subsequent sign of strength coming, just don't think that because you have a sign of strength already, that's going to lead to the leg upwards. All right, that's the thing. So let's get back to where we are now. Go to the daily. The trend is looking pretty good. Okay, it's already on the stronger half of the downward channel. Again, this started around mid-July, pretty much aligned with Ripple. If the bulls get a good chance, which, looking at the volume, it isn't too bad, although it's declining a little. So what's coming out from the Fed in 2 to 3 days, and the economic data that's coming out also around that time, it's going to affect whether these run would continue, whether they will be able to go through the purple key level of 17 cents 20. Okay, if those news pushes them to break the level, the next resistance will be the ceiling of the downtrend. Okay. Here I haven't put in the date. 17 seems to be very stretched, but I'll keep it there anyway. Let's not use this. Use this instead. What we can look at is this. That's actually pointing to early April as well. No worries. I'll just put in APR. So what this indicates is that if the price really goes up, but only managed to go through the purple key level and got rejected by the ceiling of the downtrend, when we get closer to the beginning of April or end of this month, there is a window that the players can confirm, okay, the downtrend is over. We're getting very close, okay? However, if it doesn't, okay, if the data that's coming out or if the Middle East war gets any surprising or shocking news to the world and the price falls back, this is still the base case. So range bound between this yellow dash line, about 14 cents 70, all the way to the purple key level 17 cents. So that's not going to surprise anybody, okay? If that's continue. The third key is not to have a high volume red candle dropping through the yellow dash line. And best, it doesn't go through and close below the light blue key level of 13 cents 80, because that's what been tested in the beginning of February. Okay, you see that white candle. That day, the bears pushed it real hard, but there was sufficient buying power with significant volume. Okay, that defined the short-term bottom, and you can see it has been retested quite a number of times after that during February and March. So if it ever comes down, if it falls through this one and even also the light blue key level, that's going to change the picture a lot, okay? Because for the entire almost 6 weeks, this has been the floor, okay? Now, let's move to XCN, Onyxcoin. Onyxcoin has already gone through the automatic rally. Okay, what is going to come is potentially a sign of strength. Not saying it's a must. There are two options. It can go sideways between the purple key level of 0063 and the light blue key level of 0.0040. You can see starting from end of Jan, Onyxcoin is already within this range. Okay, if we look across here, that's what it did back in 2024. All right, Onyxcoin is a bit young, so we don't have the 2002-2003 accumulation cycle to take reference. But what happened in 2023 December all the way into early 2024 after the automatic rally? You see this shape over here. It brewed over 3 to 4 months before the sign of strength with higher than average volume comes in. And then the price dropped back down to retest, check out the paper hands before the whales let the price shoot up. Okay, so even if we're seeing this, it may not be like immediate heading towards the sign of strength. But what we need to see is for the price to challenge at least the orange key level of 0.0096. Best to go up and challenge the green key level of 0.012. Okay, that's where the automatic rally was. But daily, it has long exited the downtrend that started back in January. And what we are seeing here, the bulls did try to go above the purple key level, just that it's got strike back heavily. Look at this long way from top. The body, candlestick body, is somewhere around 50% of the entire price spread. So it is not too bad. I would say at most neutral, compared to if it closed near the quarter. Okay, if the candlestick body comes even lower, that's not a good sign, because that's basically where yesterday the bulls got rejected. Okay, so as long as it stays somewhere around here or above, that's neutral to positive. And the volume, actually, if you look at this trend, people are becoming more active. So I guess some people are preempting or speculating what the numbers are going to come out in the next 2 days from the Fed. All right? So people are front running it. It doesn't mean the rally can continue, like I explained earlier. Right? If there are many moving parts around the world now, any of those factors can trigger high volatility. Okay, the base case here is, again, for XCN, this yellow dash line at around 0.0046, and this purple key level of 0.0063. It's been the case since 31st of January, this range bound scenario. Okay? If it does go up, and assuming it really has started an uptrend, all right, let's draw a channel. If this is really the case, assuming this is a channel, okay, we have only 2 reference points for now. Later on, when the price further moves, we may have to adjust. At best, we have 3. So instead of such rate of ascent, we adjust it so it's not ascending as quickly as the previous initial position. So let's assume this is the rate of ascent. So it's edging towards this triangle. We can pull this across. This points to the 29th, so about 2 weeks from now. Okay? Of course, if the volume continues and the economic data comes in, supports better liquidity or risk on sentiment, and the war in the Middle East does not have any further surprises, which I think, if you follow the news, there seems to be more surprises coming than not. So it's a risky situation. So if it breaks earlier, okay, when the numbers comes out from the Fed, it may challenge the ceiling of this uptrend again. Look at what it did for the past 2 times, and then comes back to find support around the purple key level. If this doesn't hold, it has to come to the bottom of the uptrend. However, this uptrend is still young, so we don't know for sure whether this is the case. I'm just showing you the possibility, because the base case is the range bound, okay? Even if it doesn't go above the purple and comes back down to the blue key level of 0.0051 or even the yellow dash line, that's our base case, okay? So that's all for the payment and fintech infrastructure trio. And now I'm going to talk about what the Substack is about. I have shared about the idea of this a couple of times through the community posts on YouTube and some of the comments. And this is the weekly market dashboard I've built, and I'm going to launch it next week on Substack. The Substack is also already ready, so you can go to the description, find a link, and subscribe to it early. And once I launch these dashboards, you get to know and choose whichever plan you subscribe to, because I'm planning to launch 2 dashboards. One is a broad market dashboard, the one that I'm showing you now. The other one is specifically for crypto. So what you can get is you get the description on what the indicators are about and the macro environment situation, including equities, the key equities that will let you know the broad market, and fixed income, also commodities, crypto with the top 3 BTC, ETH, Solana, and also real estate. Also, there will be a macro comparison against gold, silver, and BTC, in addition to what was shown in the above, because they can help you understand where the market is from different perspectives. And all these panels will indicate to you whether the price or the position of the particular asset is around the average, above average, or around the historical high. Okay, so that's what the Substack is about. If you haven't subscribed to my channel or the Substack, feel free to do it now. And there's another video for you on the right-hand side of the screen. Thank you.